What I love about Trump is, he said, you know, you get the green card, but with this, the gold card, you get extra privileges. like what? You get to vote twice or what? It's amazing.
Well, now you're speaking Chicago language. I'm for it, but it's part of a bigger package on immigration reform. It's been 42 years since the last one. So I'm not against it, but it's part of a whole package.
I read that the current mayor of Chicago has an approval rating of 6.6%.
Round it up,
okay. But I mean, you were just the ambassador to Japan. If that was your approval rating in Japan, they would do harakiri on live TV.
What is up, everyone? This is a very exciting clip that my editor sent me, and I was extremely excited to record this video for y'all because in this clip, we're going to see Bill coerce a Democrat to basically admit that the Democrats have completely failed live on television. That, of course, is not something you see very often, especially from the Democratic side. So without spoiling anything, let's just get into this clip. I'll pause where it makes sense, show you the parts where he's admitting that Democrats have failed, and of course, giving you my unfiltered take as always.
They would do it at 27.
I mean, what's going on in Chicago as the person?
Look, I mean, we were talking about this a little earlier. I mean, you have also the mayor of New York not doing well. Obviously, other things also here in Los Angeles not doing well, the mayor here. Look, and then you got mayors, like the mayor of San Francisco and other cities that are doing well. So I would say, look, there is a general rule. I had this when I was mayor. Safe streets, strong schools, stable finances. Focus on those three things and your city's gonna be fine. We've gone through 5 years where people became way too permissive of culture. They were all, which is why everything's locked up at Walgreens and CVS, and that is a disaster. Yeah. And I'll say this about our schools. I don't wanna hear another word about the locker room. I don't wanna hear another word about the bathroom. You better start focusing on the classroom.
I agree.
We had the worst reading scores for 8th graders in 30 years. And nobody, not a governor, not a mayor, not a president, not a secretary of education is talking about it. We're all wrapped up. Look.
So now you guys can probably see what I meant by my intro because this is a guest who is a Democrat and he is sitting there admitting that his own party has completely dropped the ball on education. This guy is a part of the system that prioritized woke ideology over actual results, and now he's sitting there saying, hey, we messed up. It's funny because, to be honest, it's like an arsonist showing up to the fire and saying, wow, this is bad. Someone should really do something about this. The fact that 8th grade reading scores are the worst they've been in 30 years is a national embarrassment, and yet, where's the urgency? Where's the outrage? Instead of addressing this crisis, we've got schools and politicians, many of whom this guest voted for, more focused on pushing gender-neutral policies, rewriting curriculums to fit woke ideologies, and turning classrooms into battlegrounds for social experiments. And now he's sitting there acting shocked that it's all gone sideways. And Maher here in a second is going to bring up China, and he's spot on when he mentions China, because we are supposed to be a global superpower competing with a nation of 1.4 billion people, and yet we're raising a generation that can't read at a grade level. How are these kids supposed to compete in a global economy? How are they supposed to innovate, lead, or even function in a world that's increasingly driven by knowledge and technology? I guess the answer is they're just not. And that's not just a failure of the system, it's a betrayal of their potential. A betrayal that honestly this guest helped create. So what's the solution? In my opinion, I think we first need to stop pretending that, number one, everything is fine, because it's simply not. Our education system is in crisis, and it's time we started treating it like one. Luckily, a lot of things are already moving in that direction, so that's a great sign. Of course, I'd love to hear what you guys think, what you think are the solutions to fix a lot of these issues, or if you think we're back on the right path to get these sort of things resolved. Let me know in the comments below. But again, you can start to see why I titled this clip the way that I did, because again, this is not something you see often, and this is just the first guest. The second guest is going to do the same thing, so let's just get into it now.
In 7th grade, if I known that I could have said the word they and got in the girls' bathroom, I would have done it. Okay, we literally are a superpower. We're facing off against China with 1.4 billion people, and 2/3 of our children can't read 8th grade level. So no more about the lot. Wait a second, I'm on a roll for a second. No more. I don't want to hear.
I gave him the light. But
I don't want to hear another word about the classroom. I don't want to hear another word about the bathroom until you tell me what you're going to do with the classroom. Yeah.
I couldn't agree more.
But I think, to be fair, Ram, this is actually...
I was being fair.
No, this is a huge Democratic Party problem. If you look at Democratic cities, they are terribly run. They have incredibly high taxes. It is impossible to build, so the cost of housing... Let me finish. I'll give you a chance. Cost of housing is crazy in places like New York and Chicago. If you look at Democratic states, you go look at New York versus Florida, okay? Roughly the same population. The budget of New York State is twice that of Florida. What do they have? Streets paved with gold? I live in New York. I pay the highest taxes in New York. You get nothing for it. And I think that is the image people have of the Democratic Party. Lots of taxes, lots of regulation, but nothing gets done.
Hey,
and I think
I live in L.A.
Right. And I think, listen, the Democrats have to own this and realize the answer to everything is not more taxes, more regulation. People are fed up of that, and they feel that it isn't working.
All right, let's pause here because this is huge. The guest, who, by the way, is a Democrat, is literally admitting that his own party has failed. Again, a Democrat is sitting there on national television saying, hey, we messed up. And he's not just talking about a small policy misstep. He's talking about the core philosophy of the party: more taxes, more regulation, more government control. And guess what? It's not working. And the funny part is, this guy isn't some random talking head. He's a Democrat insider, someone who's been in the trenches, and he's basically saying, we've lost the plot. It's like watching a chef admit that their secret ingredient in their famous dish is actually just sawdust. And you're sitting there thinking, wait, you knew this whole time and you're only saying something now? But I guess, hey, better late than never. What's even more damning is that he's not just criticizing the policies, he's calling out the mindset. The idea that the solution to every problem is more government intervention, more rules, more bureaucracy, it's a recipe for disaster. And yet that's exactly what the Democratic Party keeps pushing. It's like they're stuck in this endless loop of failure, but instead of changing course, they're just doubling down. And of course, I can sit here and talk about this all day, but the thing is, we're talking about people's lives. When you're paying the highest taxes in the country and your streets look like a war zone, when your kids can't read at grade level, but the schools are more worried about gender-neutral bathrooms, and when you can't afford to buy a house because the cost of living is out of control, that's not just bad policy, that's a betrayal. And at least this guy is admitting it on camera to Bill Maher. So again, you can start to see why I was excited to cover this clip, because this is not something you see often. Of course, as always, I'd love to hear what you guys think down in the comments below, your thoughts on these two Democrats and their perspectives and opinions, and just generally speaking, your thoughts on this clip as a whole. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Be sure to give us a like and subscribe, and we'll see you guys in the next one.